All right. Hello, viewers. It's Christopher Ebenezer here once again, and we are back on the field. And if this is your first time of visiting our channel, first of all, do us a favor, like this video, share with others, and also don't forget to hit on the subscription button. Today, we are here on the field with Reverend CK Awudey to have a conversation with him. You know, I was passing by and I realized that he has a farm, and my attention came on a poultry farm that I realized he's having. So I decided to come visit the farm, and to my surprise, Reverend has a lot here which he's going to share with us. Reverend, thanks for having time for us. We want to have a conversation with you today concerning all that you are doing on this. First of all, who is Reverend? I want to know who Reverend is.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I welcome you to the Dodo Farms, within the whole municipality, precisely on Takla land. Yeah, my name is Reverend CK Awudey. I work as a pastor with Apostolic Church, Ghana, and currently I'm the district pastor of Trasacco district in Accra. But I had this interest in farming since my childhood. And we've been doing that. That's how we were brought up by our parents to farm, and you must produce what you eat. So I've developed interest in it. So I try as much as possible to acquire a piece of land. Far back in 1996, I got the opportunity through my wife, who hails from Takla community here. And through my father-in-law, he saw the zeal in me as a farmer, at the same time enterprising to be a great man in future. He advised me to go into farming. And that's what brought me here, to acquire this piece of land for about 30 acres now. And that's me. But I also work as a management and accounting consultant. I'm a professional accountant, I'm an administrator and a finance man. I own a school also in Accra called Kemford College of Business, where I train a lot of people in administration, accounting, finance, at that level. You will find a school anytime you go to the website and you Google in Kemford College of Business. You'll find my school there and all that we do. We do all at the same time, and because that's my educational background as a finance and accounting professional. At the same time, a farmer, and I'm now into ministry as well. That's Reverend CK Awudey. You are here to talk to this one.
We are grateful.
Thank you.
All right. So what caught my attention was the poultry farm, but I haven't been to the field. I realized that you have different types of crops going, and as we are speaking, we can even hear the sound of the tractor plowing the land. Can you throw more light on all these activities that's happening within your?
Yeah, it started all, as I said, far back in 1996 when I got the land. I have to do a lot of work on the land by uprooting trees and all that. We keep on preparing the land for the vision which God has given to me to go into. So to say about 10 years ago, we really started working on the vision. We started by growing crops like maize, beans, groundnut, etc., which provides food for us, as well as to help people. So we started like that, and gradually we've been growing up to the level where we started a plantation, which is orange or cypress, what we call cypress plantation. You can see it there. And then we decided to move into poultry as part of the vision. Though the land is not all that big, but the vision is to be able to get everything here. Anytime anybody enters here, you should be able to get all that you need to feel comfortable with us here in terms of food, fruits, everything, which we really want to go into. And that's what we've been doing. So currently, we've been developing from stage to stage. So like I said, we started with the crops, and we are still growing those crops. And then we go into plantation. And then now we are into poultry. We are doing birds, which is broilers and then layers. And we are also into animal. You visit the place, you see the goats, where we prepare for animal like goats. We'll soon be going into piggery and all others like snail farming, fish farming. They are all part of the plan, which we are currently working on. In fact, the vision is to make this place a one-stop place where it's not only about coming to visit a farm, but also coming to visit God on this farm. Because my ministry it encourages me to encourage people to have that relationship, close relationship with God. So the purpose of the plantation, which is the orange farm you see, actually is to provide an orchard where we're going to put up a small auditorium, like a chapel, within the orchard. And then we are started building houses or rooms, which we can call small rooms for people. The vision is to have people visit the place, have time with God, have time to wait upon God by having all the facilities available. You have rooms, you have water, you have electricity, and then the church auditorium is there. You wake up, you go to church, you fellowship with God. People be around to help in terms of music, teaching the word of God, and praying with the people. At the same time, if you feel like coming out, you come into the orchard. The oranges are there, the pawpaws are there, the mangoes are there. You can just pluck one free of charge and eat and wait upon the Lord. 3-4 days, 1 week, you go back. And we believe that this is going to be 100% answered prayer garden for people in the future. That's one aspect of the vision. That's why you see the orchard. We have provided all the space for that to be happening. So we are moving stage by stage. Then the other side is to give us money that we can use to support the vision. We are not really going to charge anybody for visiting the farm or waiting upon the Lord. No. If you are going, you feel like giving something to support the electricity bill, the water bill, is fine, but it's going to be free. And all those who are going to be working in the chapel as children of God will be instrument, music, and others, we will take care of them. Of course. So for that matter, we have to do business. And the business aspect is the farming aspect, which we have started. We have started growing the lot of things. Basically, the fowls or the birds did very well. The last 2 batches that we took, we realized that it did very well. Honestly speaking, I didn't expect our productivity at that level, because I was thinking, though it's a new place and we've never done it before, we might have a calamity, disaster, or birds be losing them and all that. But amazingly, we had a very good output, which encouraged me or us as a team to continue. One research officer came here, who is an agri officer, going around, and he heard of it, and he came and he examined the environment, and he encouraged me that, Reverend, this is the right place, you are doing the right business. And I asked him why. He said, no, poultry, or especially birds, don't like environment with noise. So, and moreover, they like an environment that provides enough natural oxygen for them. So those who are doing poultry in the cities, they have calamities most of the time, because the environment is polluted. Moreover, there's a whole lot of noise. So what the birds takes in as oxygen is not natural. It becomes polluted environment. So they have problems. But since he visited my farm and saw how the birds were doing, he wants to encourage me that, no, I'm at the right place and I'm doing the right business. So honestly, the birds did well. We conveyed them from here to Accra during the Christmas season, and we did a very good market. We are preparing for the next batch. What we do is that we produce our own feed. We don't want to go in for a feed that is full of chemicals, which will give us a problem. So we grow our own maize, we grow our own soya beans on this very land. Then we add the rest, which is fish meal and others, the concentrates and others, and we provide our own feed. And then we also use natural feeds like the pawpaw, like the cassava. We sometimes process the cassava into cassava powder, which we added to it, to the maize and then the soya beans, and grow it. And it grows the birds very well. So our birds are very strong. We've never had, I travel with them to Accra over the night and all that. You just leave them and they are strong. They are healthy. That's what we do. So the cassava we produce, the maize we produce, the pawpaws we produce, the moringa plants, you see them all around, is to feed the birds as well as the animals. There's one good thing which they eat is moringa leaves, very powerful ones, which serves also as an antibiotics for them to deworm them and all that. Though we go through the prescribed veterinary the veterinary prescriptions, which initially, when the birds are brought in, we take them through the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks veterinary processes, which give them that. But the feeding itself is quite natural. We don't add chemicals. We feed them naturally. So that is it for now. Then we've also entered into the goats. You see where we are provided for the goats is fenced, and we provide the pasture for them. They wake up, we feed them, give them water. Then they daze around and feed naturally on the grass, the cassava peels, and what have you. There's a particular leaf. When you see the farm is fenced with a kind of trees. It's not just trees. That is a feed for goats, animals. Yeah, it's a very particular tree, and the leaves is so good for animals. So what we use to fence the whole place is not just for trees, but it's also to serve as a source of feed or food for the animals.
Wow.
We cut them, we dry them, give them to them, they eat, and they are healthy. So we don't really go in to buy feed for the goats and then the animals. No, at all. So all that you see here has a purpose, which is supposed to feed the farm. So you see the goats are also there. We started it. Yes.
One thing I've also come to realize is you have reservoirs all around, polytanks are there, borehole all around. That means you always engage in off-season planting or like.
Yes. You cannot do a successful and meaningful farm business without water. Right. Water is life, as we all say it. To every living thing, you need water. So water was the first source of attraction, what we think of getting. We try getting water from Hope as a main source, because the line passes here and joins the company that is producing cartel ventures. But when we try, we see that we are not getting good water, so we have to get back to the borehole system. So we engaged the experts. They did a survey, and then we dug a borehole, which is giving us good water, quantity enough. So we have borehole. You can see the storage facilities all over there. And we also added well, because there's enough water underground here. Research, we brought the people, experts who really give us assurance that we can get water from underground. So we are sourcing water from underground. All that we do is to dig and get water and then pull out water. So you see the facilities, the reservoirs are all there, which is supposed to give us water. The animals need water, the birds need water, human beings, we need water. All the plants, they need water as well. Then we thought of moving to the next level of providing or producing vegetables. Vegetables, in saying that we are not going to go into chemical vegetables. We want to produce organic vegetables. So we need water. And to be able to make good market of our produce, we don't want to do the main season where you are depending on the rain. And sometimes the rain comes more than what you expected or what you need for the crops. Sometimes it doesn't come at all. Then you might fail. So we plan getting water that we can regulate, and natural water from underground, which we can give to these vegetables, and they will do well without producing chemical vegetables. That is why we provided the facilities which will give us enough storage quantity during the lean season. So what we do is that around this time, we are in August, September, we'll start the nurseries, where we're going to grow the peppers. We are going to do the nursery for the tomatoes, the garden eggs. Then you wait for a month or two, especially for the pepper and the garden eggs to mature to transplanting stage. Then by September, October, we need to start transplanting these nursery crops onto the field, and the field will be prepared by the tractor. We have the equipment which prepares the land for maize, for vegetable. When it comes to vegetable production, there are implements which we plug to the tractor and it gives you exactly what you need. It's even from what you use for maize. So when you are plowing the land for maize, it's a particular equipment you use. When you are plowing the land for vegetables like tomato, you need to build something like mounds for the tomatoes. So we use those implements also to prepare the land for vegetables. So like what we are doing now, we are planting maize. What we do is that we store a lot of maize for the birds. Then as soon as the birds comes in, we start producing our own feed so that we don't buy feed from outside. So now we have the main season maize, which is in stock now, and we are cultivating the lean season maize, which will be ready by January. But what we have now, we are going to take the next batch of birds, which will start feeding with the current stock. Then by January, we have the new stock. The next year, we continue. That's the plan. So we plan activities. So we do dry season vegetables also. So by January, February, we start hitting the market with tomatoes. We start hitting the market with the onions. We start hitting the market with okra, pepper, and our peppers are special peppers. What we call the pepper that smells nicely. We grow the long one and also the small round ones. Yes, which pakoshito. Yes, of course, pakoshito. And you put 2 of our pakoshito in your soup, you enjoy it. You enjoy the scent, nice scent. And then it's also light soup and it's hot because our products are not chemicalized. They are all organic because we use the waste of the chickens spread on the land, fertilize it, turn it around, so it becomes manure. So we don't really need fertilizer. So everything that we produce on this farm, including the waste, are all sorts of what? Raw materials to do other things. So whenever we are taking the waste of the chickens out and cleaning the room, bringing the waste out, we don't throw them away. We spread them on the land, the tractor tills the land with it. Then we grow vegetables on it. And you get organic vegetables. So honestly, our tomatoes, you can keep it without putting them in the fridge for 2 weeks. It's there, a week, it's there. It doesn't get rotten. They are organic products. So that is the purpose of what we are seeing as what we call the water system, with all the reservoirs and the borehole over there, and the well which it generates or gives us enough water.
And on the part of the machines too, tractor you use, I'm seeing the sheller also around. You go to hide them or they are?
No. Once you want to go into business, you have to plan. And then one of our main objective is not to outsource a certain important equipment, especially when it comes to tractor, when it comes to other equipment which will help the work to move on time, because farming is on time. Okay. Farming is a very serious business. You can't just get and say, I'm going to farm. The season, even as God give us a plan of when rain will come, when drought will come. So is a farmer. So you can't just get up. So if you don't have your equipment or things that will help you do your work on time, and you have to go and hire, you go there and they say, oh, our tractor is not available next week. Sometimes we miss 3 days or a week within the farming season, and you can lose a lot. Yes, just 1 week. You are supposed to plant. You see, we are planting now. We are supposed to plant by 15th of August. And today is 16th. You see the workers on the field. Yeah. If I should wait by 25th of August when I plant, I will lose. So for that matter, we don't need to be chasing the inputs, but rather get them available. So anytime we look at the season, we look at our timing, and we realize that it is time for us to start doing this. We just pick our equipment, we do it, and we are on time. That's why today, 16th August, we are planting. Because we are supposed to start planting from yesterday. So even as the tractor is plowing, we are planting. Just because we need to meet the time. Right. Even though we are experiencing what we call a climate change, it's also affecting us. But God has given it the natural weather, which we are still working with, is helping us. So the equipment you see all around the maize sheller, the sheller is to help us shell the maize as soon as we harvest. You don't need to engage the labor to be picking them one after the other. It takes a long time and it involves a lot of cost. So we bought the tractors, we bought the shelling machines, planting machines sometimes. It's only a sport, that's why we are using manual planting system now. So that is what is included. So it belongs to the farm. All the equipment are for us.
And one thing that I'd also want you to talk about is the fact that you are a reverend, and you have the mindset in the world and Ghana or Africa as a whole that once somebody is a pastor be washing this to feed from the congregation. That's the mindset people have all the time. Pastor, the congregation must feed pastor. Then you are a reverend and you are doing all these things. So what can you tell others out there, not necessarily pastors? You being a reverend doing this, I know for sure you have something to tell those that would also be watching this video.
Yes, honestly speaking, it's an issue, and that is why sometimes when you move out and people even identify as a pastor, some of us we even feel sometimes uncomfortable being identified as a pastor, because most of our colleagues are really abusing the profession. It's a very noble profession God has called us to do. But I believe strongly that God did not call all of us to sit down and wait for people to come and feed us before we do His work. I've been talking to people about this issue most often, even my own church. There are a lot of colleagues who expect that Awudey should have been a full-time pastor, because you have the ministry. But I told them that Jesus didn't call all the disciples as full-time ministers. And we are following Jesus as our mentor. When he was establishing the church system with the disciples, he calls Peter out of the full-time job. He said, Peter, stop fishing and come and work with me and fish the men. But when he met Paul, Paul was working. He didn't tell Paul to stop working. He actually encouraged Paul that do your work and still do the ministry work. You can imagine the number of books Paul has written in the Bible, even more than Peter. Whilst Paul was a part-time, he was working at the same time doing the ministry work. When he called Matthew, Matthew was a tax collector. He didn't ask him to stop his work. He said, go ahead and do your work and still do the work. Matthew did so. So why me, I wouldn't be a worker at the same time a pastor. So I always take this consolation from Jesus' ministry that not all of us he has called to sit down and wait for people to feed us. We must do something to help the church. And I believe strongly Paul has assisted the church a lot because he was working. He was not demanding from the people. But when you give him, he blesses you. That's why even appointment Epaphroditus visited him in the prison and brought a lot of things to him. He reminded him that not that he really in need, because he went through several places. People didn't even bother to help him, but they still remembered to come and assist him. So God will bless them. So I want to encourage our colleague pastors out there. Don't sit down and wait for members to come and give you envelope, bring food items to your home before you eat. You can do something with the same time which you have. Otherwise, Paul wouldn't have been a man of God and has done a lot of work, which we are referring to today in the Bible. But he was working. So it doesn't mean that when you are not a full-time pastor sitting down waiting for people to bring food into your table or to your hands every day, it means that you are not a pastor. With all that I've told you I've done as a teacher, I'm a teacher. I teach almost all the business subjects at the level which my school is running. I have time to do that. I have time to manage my family. I'm an entrepreneur. And at the same time, farmer. But I do the gospel work. If you ask my people at the church, I have time for them. So I want to encourage our people out there that please don't just depend on the church. The church must rather depend on you. That is what I do. I grow produce here and harvest and go and share to the needy in the church and feed them. And I'm still okay. It doesn't mean that I'm losing anything. That is the ministry. It's not always about taking from the people. So please, if you are watching and looking at us this afternoon here, I'm a reverend minister, the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, but I still work. I still work as a teacher, a consultant, where I own a school. I train children to finance, management, administration, accounting. At the same time, working as a farmer. I drive from Accra to Volta region every time to come and work on my farm. As you see me, I'm in my working gear now. I don't come and sit down and wait for the workers to work for me. I work with them because that is what gives me the motivation. It's also strengthening me physically. It makes me always strong because if I don't have the time to wake up and go and jog and run and do the keep fit, as soon as I come to my farm, I work with my body. By the time I get back to Accra, I've regained my strength. So I want to encourage you out there that there are a lot you can do. You can go into native chicken farming, which we will soon be doing. You see the chickens spread all over. Yeah, that's now, and they are just there. Thousands of them on the farm. Very soon we are going to harvest them, provide a place for them, which we call the native chicken farming, which will soon be starting. So those who are interested in eating the local chicken, You get to the farm here, you get them. Those who wants to eat the poultry one too, you come to the farm, you get them. Those who want to eat the pig, the goats, the sheep, and everyone, you come here, you get everything. Grass cutter, you get it. We have a place very soon. We'll be starting the fish farming. We want to go eat the catfish and then the tilapia, because there's a portion of the land which is waterlogged. So consultants advise that we can build a small pond over there naturally and grow the fish, which I believe next year by this time when you come, you are going to have the snail farming. You eat snail, you eat fish, you eat all kinds of meat you want here, including the grass cutter. You eat your fruits, you get your oranges, you get your pawpaw, you get your mangoes and what have you. And you come here, you feel relaxed at home, you enjoy the night and the day. And I believe that the Lord is yes.
Thank you so much for your time, and we are grateful for all your time and all this explanation. So if this is your first time of watching this or visiting our channel, we also urge you to like, share the video with others, and let them also learn something for what Reverend has shared with you. And don't also forget to give the subscription button. And also then, see you next time.
Thank you very much for coming. God bless you all. We expect you to visit the next time. And God bless you.